Hey, folks. You like that? I'm like a happy, silly 2-year-old. So, hey, tonight it's June the 18th, and I'm sitting here in my green screen studio in a bunker. And this is, I don't know about you guys, but when I grew up as a kid in the 1970s, this is one of my favorite shows. I watch it religiously every single night, over and over and over again. I would quote all the words and all the lines, like La Fortas del Destino and Damax da Shixta, The Power of Fate, another episode of the great show, which was called the 1970s actually sitcom, which was, well, we're going to talk about that all in a minute. So, but before I even bring up, you know what we're talking about. It's all being advertised already. Am I being vague? No. But so before I do anything, and we bring on this whole thing about the Odd Couple, here is my co-host and one of the most bizarre people I've ever met in my life, Walt Papaleo. Where are you, Walt? Come on in here. There you go. There you go. Walt, can you hear me?
It's Popelo. How many times do I have to tell you that? It's Popelo.
Hey, I'm going to call you WP or PW.
WP, big WP.
Yeah. How you doing?
This was my first comedy club right here. Riddler's.
Riddler's. Where was Riddler's? Where was that?
In Chester. They were all in Chester.
I don't know. I only worked one. Which one did I work?
You worked Jesters and Jokers.
And you still talk to me.
You still have the distinction of the only person that's ever had a piece of fruit thrown at them on stage.
That's right. You know, I'll never forget that story. Somebody threw lemons at me. And I had it was lemons from the glass. A drunken woman. And by the way, you must have had a really high security detail in that club.
Huge.
Actually, now your video looks really good. Actually, it was during the Hillary Clinton puppet, or was it the Trump puppet? It was one of the.
I think it was the Hillary Clinton puppet.
It was the, yeah, because she was a big fan. Yeah.
Big Hillary Clinton.
And I remember when I was doing the ventriloquism with the Hillary Clinton puppet, I didn't say anything that Hillary didn't say. Which was funny, was the jokes were not really derogatory to Hillary Clinton. They were necessarily just what Hillary said. But that has nothing to do with the Odd Couple.
Anyway, the Odd Couple. She was never on the Odd Couple. Hillary Clinton.
Well, the Odd Couple was her and her husband, and
it still is,
and her lovely friend. Yeah, we don't do politics here.
No, I'm done with politics. But I was listening to you in the opening monologue that you were doing, and you were saying about how you used to watch it. Now, I used to watch this too. I used to watch it all the time. When I was out of school, it was on like 11 o'clock in the afternoon, and I don't remember watching it when it was actually on, but I remember the reruns, like Three's Company, that you would watch 11 o'clock in the afternoon in the summertime, and then reruns at 11 o'clock at night I would watch, and I remember reciting the lines also, but
over and over.
You know, the funny thing is, you people out there, when me and John were trying to pick out episodes to do, we couldn't remember anything. It was a lot harder. I said, why did you pick the Odd Couple?
It's been a long time. But
oh, my God.
It's been a long time. And for some reason, the popularity of it, well, it faded in my mind because of the lack of having it to play. But now I understand CBS is the one that still carries the copyright to these shows. And I noticed, I was watching some last night. I watched the first couple episodes, which was the one about them trying to convict somebody for beating up their roommate with Oscar and Felix wouldn't. He was the only one who kept voting, no, he's innocent. And it was
of course he was.
It was setting up, showing that he was such a pain in the butt right from the very, very beginning. But anyway, I was watching. It was on Hulu. Hulu has the whole entire series to watch. Yeah. I believe it's other places as well.
I was watching it. It was, everybody watches on New Year's Eve, or New Year's Day. They usually watch like the Twilight Zone or the Honeymooners. There was an Odd Couple marathon on, and I watched that, and I got to tell you, I laughed. I mean, a lot of it made me laugh all over again. So but it's one of those shows.
It's like the Honeymooners and all those. You even know the lines, you know where it's going, and you still laugh. It's classic funny. It's funny forever. Funny.
Yeah. Who knows today? Can you yell? Can Oscar get away with yelling at Felix in today's world?
I don't. Would there probably be protests all about that, or all up and down the streets?
There'd be protests. I'd be throwing bricks through windows. I mean, you can't get it. You can't do it. You can't. But anyway, I mean, it's just
Dirty lives matter. Dirty lives matter.
I can't wait. I can't wait till we do All in the Family, the All in the Family episode.
I want to do them all of them, from Batman to all the great stuff I've watched, even Star Trek. I mean, over and over and over again. But you know,
I wasn't a Trekkie, so we're not doing that one. No,
I was a big Trekkie.
I mean, I'll come on and be the bad cop. I'll be the bad. No, I'll do that. But we were looking at this last night, and we realized that not realized, but we knew that it came from the Neil Simon play. There was a play of The Odd Couple that was huge, and then it had the movie with Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau, and then it came with Jack Klugman and Tony Randall, which was what we're talking about tonight. But then we realized that after it, there was an Odd Couple, and we'll go through them. But there was an Odd Couple with Matthew Perry from Friends, which I didn't know. I forgot about. And then today we found one that was an African American version, which it was Ron Glass and Damon Wilson.
I forgot. I didn't even really, that I kind of heard about that, but I didn't know it like in my head. There was actually 2 remakes apparently, and that's when we bring them later on. Hawkeye will probably clear up all how we're sitting here like ripping it all apart and trying to figure it out. But I will say, speaking of, the very first one was a play you said earlier from
Neil Simon,
right? And the first play, who was the first person to play Felix? And that's a great question.
Oh,
and
we were talking about that last night. What?
I have a picture of it here.
Oh, is that Art Carney?
That's right. There it is.
Art Carney.
That's Walter Matthau.
We don't own this picture.
No, we don't know. We don't own any pictures. Actually, no, we did take that. We took that one live, didn't we, back in the day?
Yes, we were there.
That's Art Carney with Walter Matthau in the dressing room. Look at that. That's a great photo. Now, I have not seen it, but I can't imagine. I can't imagine Art Carney playing the Felix Unger character as well.
Well, he was always Ed Norton, but again, when we get to the Batman episode, he was also the Archer in Batman.
That's true. That's true.
And that's what he looked like. What you just saw there was the Archer in Batman.
Oh, really?
So, okay. Yeah, that's what he looked like. He didn't look like Ed Norton. He looked like an older Ed Norton. And Ed Norton looked old in The Honeymooners, but even looked older as the Archer. And there he looked like the Archer.
And just to reiterate, you said after that became a play, and then it became the movie, and this was the movie here.
Yep, that's Jack Lemmon,
right, with Walter Matthau.
You know what the funny thing is? It was
awesome too.
Oscar always had that Mets cap on, and that's why it's my favorite.
Is that a Mets or Yankees? I don't know.
That's a Mets cap. He's a big Mets fan.
You know, I'm ignorant of sports, so I have no idea.
So that's blue and orange, and I'll tell you why. And I'm going to tell you how you tell the difference.
I think it's Illuminati symbolism. I have no idea what it means.
It is. It is. The blue and orange. Everybody knows this except you, and you're the only one that's going to. The orange is from. The Mets became the National League team. They didn't have a National League baseball team, so when they brought the Mets back in, because they lost the Giants to San Francisco and they lost the Dodgers to Los Angeles. The Dodgers were blue and the Giants were orange, and that's why the Mets took the colors of the blue and orange.
One moment.
I got to be honest, I almost yawned when I was saying it.
No, I'm sure that's it. To me, it doesn't mean anything. You know, I've done shows for baseball teams, football teams, boxers, and everything, and people are like, do you know who that is? Do you know? And I have no idea. I really don't know. People like, oh my God, you did that. Anyway, so thank you for bringing that up about the sports, though, because I could always rewatch it, and if I need to like go back and remember it. But but you're right.
You'll never say, is that Mets and Yankees again?
Mets and Yankees. Now I know that's Mets. Okay, that's the Mets. And by the way, Jack Lemmon was a great Felix Unger. I think he was really great.
Not as good as Tony Randall, but he was great.
Correct. And then what comes out? We don't own this picture.
We don't.
Then 1970s.
What did they take that with? A lens that had blood on it? I mean, that's really. And we picked that picture.
we don't want to, cause any copyright infringement. So that changes the photo
That's why we
dramatically.
took that one.
And we're talking over it too. So we're talking over it. We're changing the whole form of this. It's not,
Right.
we don't own these pictures.
It's so stupid, this copyright stuff.
Well, I understand. So anyway, that's the original, that's
TV.
70s, right? And then comes this.
Now, this is the later one. This is the later one that just was probably about 3 years ago. And that's Matthew Perry from Friends. He played Oscar. And then this other guy, what's his name? Brennan?
I have his name. I think you're right. I think his name is Brennan. I have it over here. And I don't remember actually ever watching this one at all.
Me either.
You don't remember either seeing it?
I think I DVR'd it because I just wanted to see how it was, but I just couldn't. I couldn't bring myself to watching it.
Watching it or watching it?
Watching.
Washing?
I would, yeah. I watched it when I was taking a shower. No, I don't know. I'm not. Matthew Perry is Chandler Bing, and that's it.
So
he's trying to do. He's typecast. That's it. He plays that same neurotic, dummy.
I'm with you, man. I kind of get the whole thing. It's almost like a religion. Kind of, you subscribe to it, and that's your box, and you live in it. And I grew up with that 70s sitcom, and I just that was the whole. Even though I did like the original movie prior to it, but it's a religion almost. And it was. I tell you, I remember going to school and Friends, and we would repeat Pitts, and my Jews. I mean, just remember this consistent.
Yeah.
We grew up with it. It was just the way we interacted with each other, and we'd throw these little lines in between everything.
I was looking up something last night, and I came across a song that I used to sing all the time, which I thought was hilarious. Happy and peppy and bursting with love. Stupid idiot. Felix wrote that for, I think, what, J.P. Morgan?
Yeah, I believe so. I think you're right. Yeah. And I guess our experts are going to be able to make us look foolish because we don't know everything. We just, by the way, we just want to let everyone know that this show is all about not information. This show is not about education. This is just two guys that didn't have a sex life when they were teenagers and watched television. That's all.
That's all it was. That's all it was. Because John goes, we don't really know a lot about this. I said, we're the two idiots. How about this? Remember last night you were looking up on IMDb and you said, oh, there's two goofs here that we can bring up. I said, we should change the name of the show to Two Goofs.
Two Goofs. It's so true.
That's very true. There's two goofs talking about this, and we realized that we don't know as much about the Odd Couple as we thought we did.
And by the way, I see my friend Ziggy. He's out in the field there. Oh, there he is. Hey, Ziggy. Girl 1, 2, Rita Moreno, Sally Struthers. Hey, Ziggy, we sent you an email with the link, so feel free to click on that link and come in. Even though you won't be seen in the live broadcast at the moment, you'll be down here so I can see you to know that you're ready to come in later.
Yeah, Ziggy's an expert. So Ziggy's an expert. Here's another thing.
He's not an expert. He just loves the show so much. He kind of like knows all the trivia about it.
You know what's funny about this? I've had about 4 people just begging me to come on this show.
It's funny. I have people begging me not to put you on the show.
What?
I have people begging me not to put you on the show.
No, not to put me on the show. I get that. But they wanted to come on. John Ivorone was one of them. He goes, I know a bunch about it. And I'm like, it's not that type of show. I'm not just,
I get that too. People want to come on, and it's like we're not interviewing comedians.
Yeah, we're not interviewing.
Yeah, we're just having a good time and having fun. Yeah,
that's it. But we brought Hawkeye in because I happen to know Hawkeye from radio. We used to do radio together, and he also is the moderator of one of the biggest Facebook pages for the Odd Couple on Facebook.
And how many viewers does he have or subscribers to that Facebook page?
Over 8,000 people are on that Odd Couple page.
That's unbelievable.
And there's Odd Couple pages all over the place, but
right. So that's unbelievable, though. Just think about that, Walt. You got 8,000 people that just want to hear those lines and know the trivia. And now, this guy Hawkeye is not. I don't know him. I know you know him, but he's actually a person that knows everything about the whole thing from start to finish, the inside and outside of the whole entire thing.
Yeah. So he says.
Well, I would hope he's not lying.
Of course, he's not lying. Hawkeye, well, you think we didn't get laid when we were younger? But So we have before we bring on Hawkeye, let's talk. We brought up a couple episodes that we liked and we remembered, right?
Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, and I don't know again because I don't want to break any copyright laws or anything. So I am going to, I guess, show you one of the first ones coming up in a moment here. I just want to, because we're live right now, and I want to make sure that we play the right
Nothing
thing.
like preparation.
Well, I'm very prepared, actually. Preparation H is with me right now. Tony Randall is Felix Under. Okay, so the first one up is was called The Odd Couple Season 3, Part 1.
Is this the one I think it is?
New Furniture. That was the first one.
Oh, this is not the one I was thinking, but
no, I don't think. Yeah, this one is cool. This one is called New Furniture, and I'll pull it up here right now. Hope you let me tell me if you can see it.
Yep.
There you go. That's the New Furniture. And now apparently here he redecorates, and Oscar comes home, and he tells him close his eyes, and then he rips off. He rips it off and goes, "Look, Oscar, look what I have over. You're not going to believe what I have over here."
Hand chairs. Now, Oscar, he just covered his face again. But he used to, Oscar was the guy who used to come home, sit on that same couch, probably had the same ass imprint in there, you know, nestled right into it. And Felix was trying to modernize it with that furniture. And he came home with two hands that no human being could probably sit in.
Yeah, it's really, really funny. And I do remember watching that. Was that one? Now, that wasn't the most memorable one to me, but no. I see you, Ziggy. It wasn't the most memorable one to me, but it was actually one of the ones that I remember. And those chairs, I would have think those were pretty cool when I was a kid in the 70s. That was a pretty cool chair, bean bags and those kind of things.
Yeah, cool. The bean bags, and they used to have those little like half eggs, you know, the egg chairs. Yeah, no, they would be a stool. But no, it would be like a half an egg.
I remember they used to put them in the ceiling and have a chain that you could go sit on into a half an egg.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. That was
what
like
kind of club did you go to, man?
Didn't you ever watch? Did you look at the Playboy magazine? There was always like a woman in there naked in the egg in the 60s.
Dude, do you realize that I couldn't get Playboy magazines. My thing was Womeco Home Theater. I would go in my bedroom and try to get channel 68 where I could see Bo Derek's breast in the movie 10.
Right.
And I got a glimpse. That's what I used to get, do.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I remember as a kid too, the hottest thing was looking at the magazine covers that came in the mail. Like that was the hot women of the day.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You had the mail to your house?
Oh, well, you have parents, they had, magazines. It would be like, I don't know, whatever the women used to read, whatever there was. It was always beautiful women with bras on and Sears catalogs or something.
Yeah, Sears catalog.
Yeah.
I used to look at the Sears catalog, the women's underwear section all the time.
Hey, please, you're going way too far. You're giving me too much information. I'm picturing you as a...
Who didn't? Who didn't?
Yeah.
And we're going to ask Hawkeye. I bet you Hawkeye will look at these Sears catalogs.
We got to bring Hawkeye in. We're already actually 20 minutes in already, and we haven't even brought Hawkeye in or Ziggy. And I got to say that I don't know Hawkeye, but I just met him real briefly. He seems like he'd be a really nice guy. So should we bring in him or Ziggy first? I guess we'll bring in Hawkeye first. He's the pro.
Bring in Hawkeye.
All right, folks. Here it is. Hawkeye.
Hawkeye Shepherd.
Hawkeye what?
Shepherd is
Hawkeye Shepherd coming right in. There you go. Hey, Hawkeye. Oh, I don't hear him. Do you?
I don't hear him.
Maybe he shut off his volume. Let's check it out.
He's all good until
he's an expert in everything but computers.
Right. Evidently, they didn't have these on The Odd Couple. There. What is he doing?
No, he looks great.
Perfect before.
He was perfect before. He looks great, but I actually don't hear him at all. And I don't have him muted or anything. He's clear on that side.
Go back out, Hawkeye, and come back in.
Yeah, refresh, Hawkeye, and that may fix it for us. You okay? All right. He's going to disappear for a minute. So there you go.
While he's doing that, let's go over what was that second episode we brought up?
Oh, the second episode is here it is, and that one again it may not be my favorite one, but it was a really, really good one. It was called Murray. We were robbed.
You know what? There's such a great part of this that a lot of people don't get because of it. But can we play that clip where he says it at the end?
little slow children here. What is it that makes us this way? I mean, well, here's the clip. I'll show you real quick. Let's see. Make sure that you guys.
This is the one where Murray hits his head.
Yes.
Murray hits his head, and what happens is Oscar has lost his voice, and Felix now loses his voice because he made Oscar lose his voice. So it's like sympathy that he's losing his voice. Now Murray hits his head and comes in to tell the guys, and this is what happens.
Yeah, and this is what happens. And what happens?
You got to watch Oscar after Murray makes his exit
because he's breaking at this point.
He's literally breaking up, and they never cut it out.
Okay, this is them. Oh, it's going to refresh. See, he has no voice right now.
Now look at Oscar. He's laughing.
He's actually crying, laughing there.
So that was a breaking the fourth wall there, I guess they call that, right? And then it just didn't cut it out.
We have to.
Still working now for me.
Is he back?
Can you hear me?
Perfect.
Yeah, now we got you.
Good.
His video looks different. Now he looks very yellow. Like, did you just travel to Asia?
He's got it in vintage. He's got it in vintage Odd Couple mode.
All right, now we can hear. So, hey, okay, thank you for coming on real quick. And let me ask you a question. Now you look better. Now the yellow is all gone. There you go. For a minute there, I was going to get you a kidney transplant and
okay.
It wouldn't be a kidney. What would it be? It would be a liver transplant. So, yeah, but I'm see. If I was a doctor, look what I'd be doing. I'd be cutting off his left toe when he has a problem with his nose.
You need a kidney when you need a liver.
But there it is. Murray the cop. Ha cha 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 cha.
Ha cha 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 cha. Yeah, that's my brother.
So Hawkeye. How did you get the name Hawkeye? First of all.
Oh, that's from a childhood nickname.
Is it from MASH?
No, predates MASH, actually. When we played Cowboys and Indians when we were kids, I wanted to be the Indians. So you remember Last of the Mohicans? That was the original Hawkeye.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Wow. Wow.
That was a very short-lived TV series, Last of the Mohicans. It actually was called Hawkeye. The movie was Last of the Mohicans. The TV show was called Hawkeye.
But why would you want to be the Indian? Everybody wants to be the cowboy. Why'd you want to be the guy to getting beat up
Somebody
on?
had to be the Indian.
Yeah.
Well, matter of fact, there's a great joke about that. There was a guy goes.
Here we go.
No, this is a clean joke. A guy goes to a prostitute, and she's Indian, and he goes, how much? And she says $24. And he goes, $24. He goes, I don't understand. It's a lot of money. $24. Didn't we buy America for $24? She goes, yeah, but that just lays there.
Yeah.
I think that was a joke. So
I was listening to your opening, and
what did we say wrong?
I was taking copious notes on the back of my ShopRite receipt. And you mentioned that Art Carney was the original Felix Unger on Broadway.
Yep.
And one of our members came up with a photo of a playbill in Chicago. There was a stage production in the early 70s. Art Carney and Don Knotts.
Ooh.
And Art Carney played Oscar in that production. As near as we can tell, Art Carney was the only major actor to play both Oscar and Felix in different productions.
See, did you know that, Walt? I had I never heard that.
I had no idea he was that versatile.
Well,
wow,
he really was.
And Hawkeye, just from your experience, quickly from the whole passage of this all, I obviously you like the '70s series the best, I presume. But what do you think the differences are between all of these four?
These pale imitations. Well, one of them wasn't so pale, but
he says that because he was an Indian as a kid.
No, the last version I couldn't even watch it.
That was with Matthew Perry, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, here's
how many episodes? How many episodes did
I think they were on? Was it 2 or 3 years?
They were on that long?
It was at least 2 years. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Here's a question somebody threw out. There you go, Carlo. Who was Murray's cousin who was in the entertainment business?
All right. Now we're going to
try by Robert Hastings.
For him.
Say again, okay?
But Bob Hastings played him. The theatrical agent who was Murray's cousin. Remember Bob Hastings from McHale's Navy? He was Captain Binghamton's assistant.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
He played him.
He played him. All right. What was his name? We don't know his name?
His last name was also Greshler, but his first name, was it Happy? I think it was Happy.
Happy Greshler. So, Carlo, was it Happy Greshler?
And we have to search that up.
Also, since we brought up Murray the Cop, I do have a trivia question about Murray the Cop that I was going to throw at Hawkeye. His name was Murray Greshler, but in the play, he didn't have a last name Greshler, but the TV show, he got the name Greshler.
How?
Where did they get the name Greshler from?
Because both Tony Randall and Jack Klugman had the same agent, and his last name was Greshler. Well,
actually, it was a woman, Abby Greshler.
Well,
or it could have been a guy with the name Abby.
But the agent's daughter appeared on the show once. She was the panelist in the Password sketch. That she was Millicent.
I love the Password.
Oh, so she was the one in the yellow dress that was playing against Felix.
Yes.
And she was their agent?
The daughter of the agent, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. God.
And that's like her only credit on IMDb. She was not a professional performer.
Okay, how do it's amazing that you can retain all this information about something, and it's and how did that all begin? That you start to really get involved in it, and then become a person of a group of it, and really, how does this happen?
It was just my favorite show during the original run, and a lot of people didn't appreciate it at the time. The ratings were never good when it was on ABC, and when it was rumored to be about to be canceled every year. But it was in syndication. It developed a cult following. But I was on the ground floor. I loved it from the start.
Yeah. And where were you raised?
Brooklyn.
Yeah, me too. Brooklyn, Bay Ridge, Bensonhurst area near Borough Park.
Park Slope.
Okay. And I remember as a kid, this used to come on at, I think, 11 o'clock at night, every night for 30 minutes back in the
Channel 11.
Channel 11.
Yeah. Channel 11.
Was that around the honeymooners? By the way, besides Art Carney, this is I have a bizarre theory that Felix Unger has a striking similarity to Ralph Cramden.
Oh, he was telling me about this. Tell me about this.
Explain.
I will explain. You would think that if there was anyone on The Odd Couple more similar to Ralph Cramden, it would have been Oscar, right?
Right.
But it was Felix. He would go through the same ordeals that Ralph Cramden did and act in the same way. For instance, they both got audited for their taxes, had to go visit the local IRS office, and it turned out for both Felix and Ralph Cramden, they were only missing a signature.
Right. I remember that.
Both.
Could
Felix and Ralph Cramden.
They worried about it and blew it totally out of proportion that they were being investigated.
And exactly. And they both went crazy worrying.
If I'm not mistaken, they called him down, Felix, and they gave him an award, and they had all of the people, and they shook his hand that he had the cleanest and most neatest taxes out of any New Yorker.
Yes.
Now,
also, go ahead.
No, please continue.
Both Felix and Ralph were stars of their bowling teams. And on the eve of the championship match, both injured their backs.
Look at that. Huh?
Both couldn't perform, but saved the day at the end.
Could this be comedy writers like stealing each other's material?
I think it was. Both were insanely jealous. If you remember, Ralph was always getting jealous about Alice.
Yes.
Felix was the same way about his ex-wife.
Gloria.
They both went on game shows, totally overconfident. Password and the what was it? The $99,000 answer. $99,000 answer, and they both blew it, and then had to be dragged off the stage.
That's right.
Both of them were babbling answers to more questions and had to be dragged off. Both of them. They were also would go crazy whenever they got involved in a get-rich-quick scheme. They both got in fights with a very large goon, Felix, with the actor Francis X. Flattery played
I watched
him.
that one last night. That was the
Harvey.
second episode of the beginning of the series. And he
That was
gets
second episode. Yeah. Tony Randall's least favorite episode, by the way.
Yeah, he gets a black eye, and then Felix goes to straighten it all out with him, and then his back goes out the last minute, and then Felix and Oscar gets punched again, and he has 2 black eyes. And
then Ralph with Harvey. Remember Harvey? Same thing.
Right? There's another. There's all these ties.
Yes,
not ties. It's stolen.
And they both had serious issues with their best friend sleepwalking.
Wow, who would have thought?
Didn't notice that.
This is interesting. Who would have thought of that?
The odd honeymooners.
You know, Hawkeye, I think you got to sit up a little higher because you actually only have one eye. There you go. That's it. By the way, there's a quick question here. Also said, all right, here I will ask it to you, Hawkeye.
Go ahead, see if you got. Who was the actor that played Speed?
Gary Wahlberg.
Sorry, Tom, you're a loser. He knows the answer.
Gary Wahlberg.
I love Speed.
Gary Wahlberg was from upstate New York, and he descended from the original Dutch settlers who paid $24 for Manhattan.
There you go.
His family went back that far in this country.
That's called a callback joke, people.
Yeah,
I got a bunch of questions that were emailed to me, but I have like a couple of my own, just not even trivia questions, but just a couple of things. I was reading on Wikipedia and some other places about it, and there was one of the goofs they said that was in the opening credits for the entire series. The type of luggage Felix was carrying changes. When he's indoor and he's leaving his apartment, arriving, he has a white suitcase, but when he's walking outside, they change from the apartment to the outdoors.
Yeah, there's a continuity error there. But let me ask you this: the famous opening. What is the date they say at the beginning? On
November 13th.
Now, why did they pick that date?
And I was going to ask you that because I know why. Because that's Gary Marshall's birthday.
That's right.
I was going to ask that question.
You go, Walt. You go. Walt.
I got one last one here, and this is a good one, John. You're going to like this one. Felix's kids' names were Leonard and Edna. All right. Why did they name those kids Leonard and Edna?
Well, Tony Randall's real first name was Leonard.
Right.
And I think his sister was Edna.
That's correct. So Tony Randall's real name is Leonard, and his sister's name is Edna.
Wow, that's amazing. I just got to tell you guys. I got to tell you guys something too. I met Tony Randall on the set of David Letterman at the old theater before we moved to the new theater in New York City. We did a thing called a segment called. I still get checks in the mail for like $1 every once in a while. Actually, it's less than $1. It's usually like 39 cents or something. But anyway, you get a check every time it appears. It was called Lunch with Dave on David Letterman before he moved to the new theater. And they asked me to come in and do a segment called Lunch with Dave, where they're going to sit down with a bunch of ventriloquists and performers and have lunch with Dave. And it was at the 21 Club in New York City. And after that was shot, they asked me to come back in and do something. And they scheduled Tony Randall it was going to be a dream sequence. They scheduled Tony Randall to choke the dummy's neck while we go into a dream sequence. It was really funny. Tony Randall came in and then all of a sudden had to leave. And they asked me, sorry, we can't do it today. Can you come in tomorrow? I said, sure. He doesn't the next day. He keeps pushing it off. They keep making me come in day after day after day for like 3
you get 39 cents for it, bro.
No, because it plays once. You get paid every time it plays, but with that back in those days, it was scale. It was in the 90s. And I gotten anyway, the point is 3-4 days I came in.
Hang on a second, John. Hang on a second, John.
The bottom line is I met him that day. And at the very end, they asked me to come in Thanksgiving Day. And I was like, sure. I came in, and then replacement of Randall, who didn't show, was a guy named a boxer, big black guy with a really deep line. Riddick Bowe, his name was. Big guy.
Oh, Riddick Bowe, yeah.
Nice guy. He choked the puppet and did the sequence and blah, blah, blah. And the beautiful part of the whole story was after it's all said and done, I got to meet Riddick, I got to meet Letterman, I got to meet Tony Randall. And after it was all said and done, when I sent me a check, it was like $4,000 or $5,000 because I got scale every day.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Walt. I love you.
Now, Hawkeye, you are aficionado. You run a page. You got 8,000 people on your Facebook page. Over 8,000 people. Odd Couple aficionados. What is your favorite episode?
That's a good question.
Yeah, well, I run the page with a couple of partners in crime. Shout out to Eric Qualbin in particular. He does a great job. My favorite episode is the Odd Monks.
Okay, that's the one where they can't talk and they get
they go to the monastery
on their chalkboard.
Right, which is basically the same plot as the previous season. They had the Fat Farm episode.
Yeah.
It's the same plot. They go to an isolated location. Felix goes for healthy reasons, and Oscar only goes when his doctor warns him later that he could drop dead if he doesn't calm down and develop a new lifestyle. And Felix loves the environment, and Oscar hates it, and Oscar tries to escape, and they get into trouble for breaking the rules. But I think
same episode.
I think Odd Monks is my favorite, and Odd Monks has the best, the longest appearance by Richard Stahl. You familiar with the character actor Richard Stahl? He appeared on The Odd Couple more than any other.
Oh yeah, he's the old guy with the hair around the side, but the bald at the top.
He was,
yeah,
brother Ralph.
He was the head monk that. Yeah, he was the head monk that.
He was on 11 times on the show.
I think he played like a priest and a preacher or something.
9 times. He played several different preachers during wedding sequences.
Okay. All right, I know who he is.
And I most famously the psychiatrist. When Oscar he wants to stop being sloppy, so Felix brings him to a shrink, and before they even get in, the doctor's arguing with his receptionist. They have this bitter exchange. So she says, "You walk funny," and she says, "You are bald."
You are bald. Yeah. And he goes like this and walks into the office.
And
but wait a minute, didn't he have hair on? He had hair on, and then he had a she.
No, he was just bald. But he was on the show many times, always in a different role. But he was great.
There was several people like that. By the way, let me bring in my friend too, because Ziggy is like Ziggy loves the show. He doesn't run a Facebook page with 8,000 fans, but he loves the show and loves the trivias and stuff like that. This is a friend from Staten Island who's a big trivia fan. Welcome, Mr. Ziggy. There you are. Hey, Ziggy.
Guys, what's up?
How are you?
Hi, Ziggy.
Hanging in there.
I like that.
We're on the Brady Bunch now.
Yeah, here's a story about four geeky guys.
I wonder if Ziggy has a trivia question, since he's a trivia guy and loves it, that maybe he can stump Hawkeye with it.
Right, and he will not be offended. We asked Hawkeye earlier, if we ask you something, he goes, "No, I'd love to get stumped." So Ziggy,
it's just funny. I looked up today something. What's their address? That's the easiest thing.
1049 Park Avenue.
But when they show the warning at the beginning, when they show the landscape of the building,
right?
That's not the same building. Do you know what the other building is?
But the people still make a pilgrimage to that address.
Oh, I have my picture in front of the building. Absolutely. That and Tom's Restaurant for Seinfeld, but that's from
Seinfeld, right? Tom's Restaurant.
Yeah.
But wait a minute, Ziggy, you asked him the question. I don't think he knows that answer. What was the question? So what was the other building?
Yeah, it's actually called
the Central Park West,
Remo, and it's at 145 Central Park West.
Park West, right?
That's when they see, and that happened to have been
Tony Randall's
Gloria, where Gloria lived, and I believe Tony Randall lived in that building.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Wow.
Not 1,000%. I wrote Tony Randall a letter years ago. I wanted to write this book about The Odd Couple. And at the time, I knew everything. But now it turns out I don't.
But wait a minute. It sounds like Hawkeye has a new moderator.
But somebody else wrote that book.
Wait a minute. Hey, Ziggy, do you have a urinal in your house?
It depends.
Very funny.
All right. So I'll go easy questions. What was Oscar?
Don't give him easy questions.
Give him the hardest question. He's the top food chain.
Middle name?
I'm sorry?
What was Oscar's middle name?
Trevor.
Very good.
And Felix's middle name?
He didn't have one.
Yes, he did.
Ha!
Oh,
Alex.
What do you got?
I mentioned it once. Felix Alex. Yes, Unger.
I did not know
Wow.
that. I'm sorry.
Felix Alex Unger. Something new in your book, Ziggy.
What was the gorilla's name?
Bruce.
Bruce. And remember the episode where he goes, "It took me 3 years to figure out that FU meant Felix Unger." What was the name of the magazine, the girly magazine that Oscar worked for?
Harem.
And what was the publisher's name?
Bo Buffington.
Oh my God.
Boy,
close
it's
enough.
creepy. It's
And
creepy.
who was that?
John Aston
Who? John Aston?
played him, yeah.
Was that Gomez?
Yep.
Right.
Gomez
Hey,
in the second
Kathy
Riddler.
says hello to you, Ziggy. Kathy Whitaker says
Oh,
hello.
hey, Kathy, what's up, yo? What was the name
John.
of the exorcist that exorcised the apartment?
Dr. Clove,
Dr. Clove, and he was played by
Victor Buono.
who also was in another episode as
Right.
King
As
Tut.
Lovelace, the building manager. And you know, if you ever watched that, at the time, Victor Buono was only 35 years old.
Wow,
like
he looks like he's
he looks-
70.
Yeah, he looks so much older.
He was King Tut. He was King Tut in the
That's
Batman episodes.
He died very young, too.
Yeah, he was funny.
He
That's
was
because he
very,
was about 400 pounds.
Yes.
What was Oscar's favorite pool hall?
His favorite pool hall?
Yeah, where he used to go to play pool.
Ooh. Favorite pool hall? I'm not sure.
The 34th Street Pool Hall.
Okay.
All right.
I just
one for Ziggy. One.
I bet you Hawkeye, he researches that tonight.
Hawkeye's gonna go home tonight and go Pitts, 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 and Ziggy's.
when Oscar was the fry cook, his name was, this is easy.
Cookie.
And what was the address of the place?
Oh, the place down by the docks.
Yeah, I better bring my spoon.
Yeah,
I
my
do
big
remember
spoon.
Cookie.
I can't think of the address. What was the address?
912 Wharf Street.
Wharf Street. Yeah.
Two of them.
And
That's good too, Hawkeye. That's good. Hawkeye, not embarrassed. So we're not embarrassing you. We're just having fun.
for fun. Because I'm sure he could run all over me. What
John,
was, what Oscar's secretary was?
Myrna.
Secretary Myrna?
And her husband?
Sheldon?
Sheldon. They left out the O. What was Sheldon's last name?
Was it Stimler?
Stimler, very good.
Wow.
And his
John,
brother.
I had a couple of questions. Do we have some questions for him?
We have questions. I think, but I want to have Hawkeye ask Ziggy a couple questions now.
No, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Just for fun, Ziggy. This is.
Oh,
Go ahead, Hawkeye. Hit him with 3 questions.
As a matter of fact, the more you know, the worse it is.
That's true. How much time is left?
We're at 15 minutes left. We're almost good. Go ahead.
Okay, let's see.
Somebody wrote this here in the thing. Here it is. 912 Wharf Street.
There you go. Somebody had it.
There you go. Okay, you want to hit Ziggy with a question?
Sure. Let's see. What was the name of the pilot that flew them onto the island of Hakaloma?
Pop Belkin.
No, Hakaloma. The Calypso episode.
Oh, that.
Was that
Pepe.
Lonely Feldman? Or
I
was that
got
from Gilligan Bell?
stuck in my head.
Peppy, remember?
Happy.
They said he was cool as a cucumber, and he comes in the bar and gets down on his knees and said, "We made it again."
Is that the one where he flew the plane up? They didn't want to jump out or something like
Oh,
that?
that was the one he's talking about. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why I got him confused. Let me show you the tricks that made me famous. And he's going,
Who was that? Who was that guy? That plane?
Yeah, that was Pop Belkin.
Okay.
Let's-
He's digging, man. He's digging something here.
when Felix went to Houston, what was the name of the company he was going to do the shoot for?
Buckaroo barbecue sauce.
And who was the stewardess?
Who was what?
The stewardess. When they were on the-
Barbara Joe Babcock.
I'm Barbara Joe Babcock. You're
Wow.
good.
Wow.
Hey, you know what? Why don't you guys just do the show?
Yeah.
Me and John, we'll see you guys next
We'll go to
week.
sleep.
John, hit him with a question we had.
Who was the assistant monk that kept score on the chalkboard when they were baking the bread?
I don't remember.
He didn't talk, right?
But I
Brother
love
Lou.
with the blackboard.
It's a tie ball game. Brother Lou.
Brother
But did he talk?
Brother Lou.
Did Brother Lou talk or he didn't talk?
Yeah, he did.
He did.
Who lived
They
in the
weren't supposed
apartment before Felix and Oscar?
Irving Cohen.
Irving Cohen.
I got
Man.
one. Are you ready? This Ziggy gave it to me. Where did Oscar sneak out to buy food when he was at the fat farm?
Max's Delicatessen.
Can't fool him.
Yeah.
Can't get him.
Holy God, you can get him, but
You
very
mentioned
hard.
the security episode. What was the name of the guy that ran the high security building? I think it was called Security Arms or something.
Yes. Do you know his full name or just his last name?
I believe I know his full name.
Okay, G. Martin Duke.
G. Martin Duke and his assistant
Mel.
and the dog.
Now, Peaches.
There you go.
Now, what other character on the show that we never got to see also had the middle name Martin,
Steve?
but was prominently mentioned
Ooh, I
when
don't
they
know.
were in jail? J. Martin Eckworth, the
J.
attorney.
Martin Eckworth, the lawyer.
Yeah.
The lawyer.
See, I can really dig deep if I have to nail him.
This is tough. Name all the
Johnny hit
guys
him one.
in the card
I will.
game besides Felix and Oscar.
I'm sorry, say that again?
All the guys in the card game besides Felix and
Oh.
Oscar, first and
Well, there
last.
was Roy. There was Vinny.
What was
Murray.
his last name?
Oh, the last names? Well, Homer Deegan was Speed's real last name. And
What do you think? My mother
Vincent
knew.
Varela was Vinny's real last name. Then, of course, Murray.
Murray Greshler.
Yeah. And Oscar and Felix. And Roy. We never found out Roy's last name, the accountant.
Nope. He
Who
was
stole
only
the $50?
episodes.
The $50?
Yeah.
What about the sandwich?
Yeah, who stole it? It was Oscar, right? He ate
Oscar in the dark.
Stole it by accident, yeah.
it. That was one expensive sandwich.
You
Yeah.
made yourself a very
How about this? Who owned the building that Oscar and Felix lived in?
Rodney
Do
Allen.
it. Right?
Okay, good. Huh. Who came to rescue? Oh wait, when he came to rescue, when the super, I can't even read this question up here. He came to rescue when the super wanted to throw them out. Oscar is on vacation.
No, that's what happened. That was the
Oh, that's
episode of
the
Rodney Allen
explanation.
Rippey. He came to the rescue when they were getting thrown out.
Where was he going on a cruise?
Where was Oscar going on a cruise, right?
The Bahamas?
Yes,
Yeah, Bahamas.
Thomas.
Bahamas. That's correct. Wow. See, I got a bunch of weird trivia questions here, but they're in the chat, so they're all like, it just looks like one long like kind of thing.
Who was Oscar's editor?
Mr. Donnelly.
And who was that?
Ed Platt from Get Smart. The chief.
Also from Staten Island, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know, you look Ziggy. You look a little like the chief.
You need the glass.
You look
thing
like-
in my
You
head.
look a little like the chief who was in quarantine.
What was the time on the clock in the closing credits?
Oh, when
That's
Felix
deep,
is,
dude. That's deep. That's like saying what color pants they wear in
You know,
episode
they showed
3.
the clock
yeah,
Ooh, see that's.
yeah. I
the
don't
kind of
remember the time on the clock.
11:10.
11:10.
Is it relative to mean anything that 11:10?
You know that maybe it was Tony Randall's birthday or something. I don't know.
Was Illuminati symbolism again?
I'm sure that the Rothschilds
Okay.
were all over.
This
it.
is my
All right, Ziggy. Ziggy.
You
I
cut
have
me
to take
off.
out the big guns now.
He's taking out the big guns. Hold back, Ziggy.
What is
Both
this
Blanche,
number?
both Blanche and Gloria were given 2 different maiden names. Name them.
Wow, Blanche Devereaux.
Blanche was a Blanche
No.
Penge.
No.
That was when she almost married that guy.
Blanche. I don't know.
Blanche Jefferson Madison and
That's her
Blanche
real name.
Summers Madison.
Right.
And even Summers was her her real name. And
Brentson is right. Brentson.
Gloria was given the names Fleener and Schaefer, maiden names.
You know,
I didn't know Cleaner.
Wasn't there a
know-
Mildred
I don't know
Fleener?
if she was related to Mildred Fleener. I don't know.
I can't believe how much you guys know. What I like to know is, does either of you remember your children's names?
I have children?
Children, we have children.
What was the serial number of Felix's television set?
We have a guy on our fan page that every few months he seems to ask that as a trivia question.
96133F.
How would you even know that?
Yeah, but why is that relative?
On Paw Patrol.
Not-
The guy
Not
is
relevant at all.
TV. And Felix goes, "What's the serial number of your television set?"
I know.
And the guy goes, "I don't know. Do you know the serial number of your TV set?" And he goes,
Yeah.
96133F. And Oscar goes, "You shouldn't have asked."
Yeah.
What was your favorite episode out of the whole thing?
Yeah, Ziggy.
I love the Sure Shot Wilson one with the pool. But I have a question because I can't remember this episode. My favorite line was in this episode. I can't remember the episode. Oscar has a niece or something that came over, and he lets her go sleep in Felix's room. She's a young girl, and Felix came home, and he goes into his room, and the girl's laying in the bed. He goes, "It's not my birthday."
I remember that.
Yeah, it wasn't his niece. It was just a girl he picked up in a restaurant.
I don't know whether it was a niece or a relative.
No. It was well, it couldn't have been his niece because they were both dating her in the episode.
Right.
It wasn't that kind of show, you know.
No, they would throw out all these great lines.
But Hawkeye, we got you stumped. That's a stumper, right? That one's a stumper. Who that was? Somebody.
Marilyn Mason was the actress.
But I don't remember the synopsis of the episode.
The funny thing is that was a recycled plot. I don't know if anyone remembers a show in the 60s called Hey Landlord. It was also produced by Gary Marshall.
Wow.
It had the exact same plot with the girl in the bed and dating the two roommates, and they even used the same actress. So Gary Marshall, he stole from himself.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Hawkeye, how did you meet your wife?
How did I meet my wife?
Right. Is she into this odd couple stuff?
Oh,
No.
she's not. No.
Oh,
She didn't
no.
grow up-
Like the
she
Odd
didn't
Couple.
grow up in this country, so no.
Oh,
That's,
no wonder why. Okay. By the way, Walt, ask me when did I meet his wife?
Last night at 7:00.
But no, that's the whole point, though. Like this trivia stuff, it's amazing that you guys could have this much information and store it in your heads and know it all. And the other thing is too, as I think about this and I look back over the days when we used to watch this, why is it that a group of people like us and specifically women don't like this? They don't like Star Trek. They don't like the Abbott and Costello.
But they don't remember any shows.
But
Like,
guys
they-
are like this. Why
They
is
don't,
it
they
that
don't
we're like
repeat lines. They don't do that. They don't do that. Guys do that.
But why? What is this? What is this? What is the DNA
Fascination,
that running?
right?
It's something running through our genes. What makes us this way? I don't get it. Yeah,
I don't know.
It's a strange.
We couldn't get laid. We had nothing better to do.
I was trying. Yeah, speak for yourself.
Yeah.
Hey, Ziggy,
Before.
Thanks,
Ziggy, what was the name of the tropical island where Gloria first tells Felix she wants a divorce? The two couples were on vacation together in a flashback episode.
Oh, is there? I was going to say, is that flashback or was that when it first started?
I don't know.
San Dominguez.
See, we got.
You know what Dan Dominguez rhymes with, right?
Ah,
What was the name of the clown they hired for Edna's birthday?
the clown.
Oh, man, that's Chips Cooney?
Sherman.
Thurman. And what was the things that cost extra money?
Oh, his well, there were a few things. His shoes explode.
Right?
The Flopsy Mopsy dance. Yeah.
Flopsy Mopsy dance. Wow.
John, we're just learning today.
I know. But you know, as they present it, I'm like, oh yeah. You know,
Who did they win the racing dog from? And what was the racing dog's name?
Well, Golden Earrings was the dog's name. They won it from Salty Pepper.
Salty Pepper.
Well, Golden Earring was a band, right? They sang Radar Love.
Really?
Yeah, there's a band called
No, it was a
Golden
song.
Earring.
Hey, that's unrelated, Walt. It's totally unrelated.
What was Miriam's last name?
Welby,
Welby.
which was an inside reference because she Robert
Marcus
Young
Welby, right?
had played her father. Yeah.
Yeah, Robert Young on Marcus Welby.
Here's one. When Felix got paid from Password, what name did they put on his check?
Felix Ungle.
Ungle.
And when you think of that episode, what do you constantly think of?
Aristophanes.
Aristophanes.
Everyone knows.
We were laughing about that last night. Do we have
My
that clip?
shirt.
There you go.
He got to pull it out. Look at that. Ziggy pulled out
I'm
the
fat. I don't want to move that
The
back.
Password wins our #1 episode poll every year.
It's
Is it really?
incredible.
The Password is the #1 on all. Wow. Okay, that's interesting.
It was
too.
Jack Klugman's favorite. Tony Randall's favorite was the Flying Felix, where he was afraid to fly,
Uh-huh.
and that always comes in
Password was
second.
awesome, man. We know a comic. John and I know a comic, Melvin George, who does a whole thing about when he first signed on to AOL. He forgot his password years later, and he had to change it. He was not cool. He had to change it to not cool 1 because he forgot his password. Then he realized what his password was. It was Alan Ludden, because he was the host of the game show Password.
And by the way, I was looking at some of these notes here. In that particular one, Felix just won a car. He did La Forza del Destino, Democracy da Sixta, and Felix uses the phrase La Forza del Destino. He goes, the power of fate. And then he answers the questions, and the answer was as a mantra in the story. The title of the opera was called Giuseppe Verdi. Is one of the answers to this radio station. What was
So he answers all the
I was
questions.
trying to think of it to ask you, but I couldn't remember the answers.
He answers all the questions as he's cooking for Oscar that's on the phone, and then when he wins the car, he goes, "I just want a car."
Yeah, right. And that's when it breaks the commercial. That was really a really funny episode. I really enjoyed that one too.
When they trashed the car, what was the name of the gang that rode on the roof of the car? And who was the lady that tried to sell the car for them?
Pushover Page.
Pushover Page. And what
That was
name
for the
was
$900
written on the car?
right? How much was it? $900?
They was spray painted on the top of the car. They looked at it down, and there was some spray, that,
The trunk and the hood were open.
Wow.
So
Amazing.
Pushover Page was played by Bella Brooke, who was on the show several times. Famously in the furniture episode, if you remember, she came down at midnight because she thought the sale was going to start at midnight. Where did she say she came from? You remember?
Time's up.
Larchmont.
We have no idea.
Larchmont.
Larchmont.
Who that was Pushover Page?
Yep.
Yeah.
I should have
And
named my dog that. I should have named my dog that instead of Stummer.
Larchmont.
No, Pushover Page.
Pushover Page.
You know what's going to be funny? Hawkeye gets divorced and marries Ziggy.
Imagine them in bed together. And that's very well acceptable these days. But they're just like, hey, what was the name of the dog? Shut up and go to sleep.
A wedding will be on November 13th.
Yeah, there you go. Right. It'll be all at the same time.
Hawkeye, don't friend him on Facebook. He's scaring me a little bit.
Oh, by the way, I want to tell people, just for the hell of
Hawkeye
it, while we're here, this is the Facebook group for Hawkeye, but it's really hard for you guys to find because you're not going to remember /group/803-657-6502 unless you have a memory like Hawkeye or Ziggy. You probably would remember 803-657-6502. But if you want an easier way to find Hawkeye's webpage on Facebook, which is basically all about the Odd Couple TV show, you just search in Facebook, I love the Odd Couple TV show, and he is the #1 Facebook group.
Let's bring that up to 9,000 people for him.
Yeah, I hope so. Matter of fact, I hope you share this.
I belong to a group. I think it's yours. I remember seeing your name.
Okay.
And Ziggy, for you too, you're a huge fan of trivia in the Odd Couple too. How do people get in touch with you?
About the Odd Couple? I wish they wouldn't.
You would be like, yeah, come on over. Come on over.
please stop. We don't want you to lock it up.
Yeah, I got a room in my basement that we could go down. Ziggy, what is all of that stuff in the background? You could have straightened up for us a little bit, no?
This is the house.
This is
There's
what
a little gym in the pandemic. There's the Falcons. I'm a school teacher. That's American. Don gave it to me. But yeah, you couldn't make the math.
Wagner. Now I know why you brought up Staten Island. Okay.
I live in Staten Island. Yeah.
Well, are you still working during this pandemic as a teacher? Or you do it online? Or?
I work online, but I'm retiring at the end of this year. July 1st, I'm done.
Nice. That'll be really fun.
What do you teach, Ziggy?
High school math, geometry.
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 See, I
35. Yeah, you're not going to quiz me on that now, are you?
I would have pictured like Jim or something like that.
Jim?
Okay, yeah,
You really appreciated the isosceles triangle joke.
Yes.
That's
Like an isosceles triangle. That was the Sure Shot Wilson episode, I think.
Yes.
The gambling episode, right?
Yeah.
What was the number on the roulette wheel that they bet on? That he lost on?
Too late.
11.
3 red. I know. Trois rouge. Yeah. All right. Who wrote half a dozen episodes and also was a guest actor playing a judge?
I know that guy. He was the judge in every one of them, right?
No, that guy. His name was Conway. He passed away. He'd always played the judge. And then they had one more episode to do where they needed a judge, and he couldn't do it, obviously. So they got someone else, one of their writers.
Gary Marshall.
Who?
Not Jerry
Gary Marshall.
Boston, was it?
Nope.
No.
Bill Idelson, most famous for the Dick Van Dyke Show when he played Rosemary's boyfriend, Herman Glimpsher. He played the
Wow. Now I have a question. This is a good question. Is there anybody from the main characters, anybody still alive?
Yes.
That is a very good question.
Miriam Welty, the one, Elena Donahue, is, I believe, the only. Somebody said it on the radio the other day. I believe Elena Donahue is the only one still alive.
Well, the actress who played Nancy.
That was Oscar's girlfriend.
Reasons, she's still alive. And I think Janice Hansen, who played Gloria, I think she's still alive too.
So all
They're kids.
The guys are
Leonard and
dead.
Edna.
It's like, why do guys die before their wives? They want to. All the guys are dead.
I mean, I'm sure the principal of your teacher is happy to hear that.
Yeah.
He's retiring. What does he care?
Doesn't care at this
The
point.
guy's teaching math. He wants to get out.
Hawk, what do you do? I forgot what you do.
Right now I'm playing Mr. Mom. I'm homeschooling my kid the last few months. So
All right.
yeah.
Here,
All right,
Tommy
good.
asked a question. How did Felix try to psych out Bobby Riggs?
2 heads.
And a picture of
that
Billie
on
Jean
there.
King.
But now this Eric is a big fan. A lot of information from Eric Qualben.
Vinny and Roy are still alive.
And my co-conspirator on the fan page, Eric Qualben, just reminded us that the actors who played Vinny and Roy are still alive.
Yeah, that's what he's saying right here.
Yeah. They got to be decrepit, though.
That'd be Larry Gilman, who played Vinny.
Right.
They got to be
Yeah.
like 80 or 90 years old.
Yeah, they must be really aged.
Wasn't he a cartoon voice also, Larry Gelman? Did he do any voice acting?
Vito Scotti.
Probably.
V-I-T-O.
Well, people now bring up Vito Scott. A lot of guest stars were.
Right.
We're talking about regular, semi-regular players. There are few of them still alive.
I remember
Not
Vito
many.
Scotti. Vito Scotti played
He was
the
Pepe.
mad scientist on Gilligan's Island that took him to the island and they all changed bodies.
Yeah.
See, that I know. Gilligan's Island, I know.
Let me ask these two guys something interesting, though. Is that because, all right, we're both big fans of The Odd Couple, but I was also big fans of several other shows. Independent of these, though, there was also, Walt and I were talking about, we loved Batman, the 70s series Batman, loved the Twilight Zones, loved besides The Odd Couple,
The Monsters.
Monsters, and also
Gilligan's Island.
Gilligan's, sure, Gilligan's Island, and the other, the classic Honeymooners as well. But and again, those are just as sweet memories for me as this particular episode. Do you guys feel the same way about all those as well?
Love Batman.
I'm a huge Batman guy. I don't. That's one show we can do.
Star Trek.
Yeah, the original.
I got into it for a while, but only the William Shatner one.
Me too.
Yeah.
Right, just the William Shatner one. See,
Same here.
now if you ask your wives, they'll say, they don't want to watch it. And
My wife.
they
know
won't
what my
watch it.
wife's favorite show is? Know what my wife's favorite show is?
What do
I
you
don't
know?
know. I have no idea.
The Bachelor.
I have no idea.
It's got to be The Bachelor or 90 Day Fiance.
It's some kind of hospital show. It's some kind. It's something with a fire department that it's a different. Like somebody gets a knife stuck through their heart one day and they live. Get Smart is another great show.
Great one.
Wow, Get Smart.
Classic. All right, another one. The Monkees, another great one. The Monkees.
Yeah.
Right. The Monkees.
The Brady Bunch, the Partridge Family.
We talked about the Brady Bunch. We talked about the Brady Bunch doing that, but the Get Smart. I have a feeling that we would do a show on Get Smart, and it would be the same way because I wouldn't remember the episodes, but I do remember. Like who was the agent that always got the bad assignments inside the mailboxes?
Right.
13.
Now, the first time though, he had a different number, and then they changed it to 13.
Right.
I'm
in the beginning.
I knew that. I don't remember the number, but
44.
44.
Wow. I'm laughing
Like
here.
David Beckham.
Daniel Miller says they were all good shows, but Time Tunnel was my favorite, and I thought that's the thing that he went through in order to get that hat and urinal in his house.
The joke. Daniel Miller. This guy Daniel Miller lives in Canada, and he actually has a urinal in his house. He doesn't have a
stand-up urinal.
toilet. Like a stand-up, like you're going into a restaurant urinal.
He showed it to us online. We were like, "Get the hell out of here! Who has a urinal in their house?"
He doesn't have to worry about leaving the seat up.
He has to put those cakes, the cakes in there.
Well,
he
actually, he likes to blow those out when after he pees. He thinks it's his birthday cake.
Puts a candle in it once a month.
Put a candle in here. Thank you very much. All right. Well, listen, guys, we're at 1 hour and 8 minutes. We're already over already, but we should do it again because it's really a lot of fun. And you know something? I got to think Hawkeye is really, he's got a lock. Hey, Hawkeye, what did you do for a living prior to retiring or whatever it is that you have a memory like this?
Besides working in radio with Walt, I was in publishing.
Publishing. Okay. And so do you have a good memory for other things or just this? I mean, where we put our focus on was what grows in our lives. Is it, do you have other things? You generally have a good memory.
Sports also.
Sports. But is it because you're inherently have a good memory or you just really?
Yeah. And the more insignificant and useless the information, the more likely I am to retain it.
That's me too.
Yeah.
And now I know Ziggy, and Ziggy, I know what you do for a living, and math is computations, it's logic and stuff like that. And you have a lot of this stuff too and stuck in your head. So is it that because you really like it or you have a good memory as well?
I have no memory whatsoever.
You don't?
Except for this.
When we were watching it at 11 o'clock, when it was on 11 o'clock every night, my friend and I, we both worked in the mall, and we used to just quiz each other on the shows that we saw. We just every morning, and then we started writing them down, and then we started bringing them over to other people, and it just genesis to remembering it just from repetition.
It was bleeding into his head every night, just like all of us was bleeding into our heads.
But did you notice a lot of his questions had numbers in them? And now I know why, because he's a geometry teacher.
Makes sense.
There you go. That's right.
What time is on the clock? What time? What was the address? He yelled them all out.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
Totally awesome.
Numbers.
Well, guys, I got to thank you. I mean, we're over time here, but would you do it again? Because we would. There's so many episodes that we didn't bring up. I have a bunch here that we did. I wanted to bring up the Odd Couple, the Password season 1. I wanted to bring up Want to Buy Your Grave. I also wanted to bring up
Battling Brook.
Yeah, there's a lot that we didn't even get a chance to focus on yet, but we could always do it again another time. It's always fun.
We'll do it another time. You guys in?
Yes.
I'm always in.
Pandemic number 2.
Let's go Mets.
No, we'll do it the pandemic number 2 in November when everything comes back and it's locked up. We'll do it again.
You know what we'll do? Hopefully, does November 13th fall on a Thursday?
That's a good question. I'm looking at it right now. November 13th this year is going to be, and the answer is, Hawkeye, you should know. You could do. Oh, actually, ask the math guy, Ziggy. November 14th is a Saturday.
13th.
Friday.
Friday.
Right. So it's a Friday. So maybe we'll do it on a Friday instead of a Thursday.
It works. That works for me. That would be fun.
Yeah, but John, you'll be busy.
I hope.
Hopefully you got work.
Your mouth to God's ears. I'm ready to go out and make people laugh again. I don't think I'm a good
thank you guys. Thank you, Hawkeye. Thank you, Ziggy, man. It was a lot of fun.
My pleasure.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I watch you guys every week, so it was just fun to
you're so full of it.
And then what I'll do is
see you again, Walt.
Yeah, same here, Hawkeye. What I'll do is I'll take a copy of this video and I'll put it onto your page, and I guess you'll just have to okay it if you want. And I'm going to put it on all the Odd Couple pages. So
cool.
Great.
Thank you, Ziggy. Thank you, Hawkeye. Thank you, Walt.
Take care, John.